On today's episode of The Craft Chef, we're going to turn some of this lovely stuff called focaccia, it's kind of an Italian bread, into savory French toast. Savory French toast. You take it, you dip it in egg, you stuff it with goodness before you dip it in egg, and then you fry it up, and it comes out fantastic. You can actually cart it around, carry it inside, all stuffed with wonderful, steamy goodness.
So the first step is procure the bread. I go to a local bakery and pick up
toast. You start with a whole bunch of ingredients. You can sample anything. Whatever can fit inside of a piece of bread works. So for today's experiment, we're going to start with some sun-dried tomatoes, artichokes, bacon, and you always want to throw in cheese, because cheese is good. Gouda is good. Goat's cheese, really tasty. Actually kind of low in calorie and really prone to melting. It's really good. A couple other kind of standbys of cheese. You can kind of mix and match and do a sampler plate. Wash is you need milk and eggs. Good batch, 2, maybe 3 eggs. Kind of wing it based on how much egg wash, how many pieces you're doing. It's one of those things where if you run low, you just throw another egg in and splash more milk, and then you're back into the game. If you want a lower calorie, you can swap out eggs for egg whites. The end result's almost the same. So what I'm going to do is really start off by souping this up. Maple bacon. Bacon on a large skillet. Alright, next up you need the right vessel to cook it in. This, on the other hand, is great because it's roughly the same shape as the piece you're hoping to cook with. It's tall, so you can completely submerge it. You do. You should crack some eggs in there. Three eggs. Now, this stuff, it's savory toast. So if you want to add pepper or other spices in there, you could. You don't need to because the focaccia comes pretty spiced. A couple of these break the yolks. Turns. You see I'm really working up the waves. So focaccia, you know, fresh bread, if you take it right out of the oven and you start to try to cut it, it falls apart. On the opposite end of the scale is stuff that you could basically, you know, do grinding with. You want this stuff somewhere in between, closer to the grinding stage. So what I'm going to do is cut these into pieces and we'll cut them down. So that way they end up kind of about the size of a small remote control. So do like that, so you have that much thickness to work with, and then we'll cut it half again. Like so. These are about even. So, here's the money shot. What you do is you take a piece like this, a cutting surface, just find a little surgical knife, you cut down, and notice that, just because I am cutting all the way through, but only the points are getting all the way through, so you end up with this nice, big space. So cut up some cheese bits. Kind of, you can work with different cuisines in your head, like Italian stuff would all go together, so mozzarella and peppers would be a good match, or mozzarella and artichoke. You could also say bacon and cheddar is good, because you put bacon and cheddar together. And you could say Gouda. Gouda can go anywhere. Same with goat's cheese. But you could do ham and Gouda. Like you can do Greek, you can stuff with spinach and feta. If you had feta cheese, you could stuff it with meat, like sausage. You just go nuts because you have all the space to work with. And the good side about putting bacon into this recipe is, as it's cooking, you're getting all the fat off the bacon. Heart attack. Now, probably Gouda and bacon would be a good combo because it's nice and smoky. So let's start with some nice basic ham and Gouda. So what you do is you stuff some bits in here. Pause for a second. So you stuff some hammy bits in there. Let's see, if you push too far, it may end up a little bit open on that side. Not a big deal. And then Gouda. Now you're going to think, oh, that's going to melt all over the place. It's going to make an unholy mess. Yes and no. What happens is, it makes an unholy mess, but the egg gets it. So what happens is you kind of wash this thing all around. See how it's kind of submerged? Yeah, try to drain off a bit of glue. Then you truck it over here. Now there's different theories about how you can do this. I usually start melty Jeopardy side down, because then that seals it in when it's hot. And then you can flip it with abandon. We'll do another piece. A bit more ham. Go back again. Now the trick when you do a whole bunch of these things, these are great French fruits, because you can just stack them out there and it's kind of like, ooh, did you get the Gouda one? Oh, I did get the Gouda one. It's better than the bacon one, etc. What you might want to do is put in goat's cheese. Goat's cheese comes in these little tiny packages. It's relatively expensive. I say that because, you know, you always watch these cooking shows like, oh yeah, it's just put in chanterelle mushrooms. It costs nothing. And why not just braise it with truffles? And it's like, no, that's a $600 meal. How about I just buy a car instead? So this is about $5 a package. It's a little bit pricey, but it tastes really, really good. It melts really easy, so you've got to kind of keep that in mind that while other cheeses are sitting there kind of sturdy, it's kind of a goopy mass. So you know, just keep that in mind. If you're thinking it's going to be there, you're going to be a little subjected to a lot of punishment. So with this one I'm saying, you know what? Bacon is good in everything. Goat's cheese is good in everything. Bacon and goat's cheese would obviously have to be really good. So it goes bacon, it goes goat's cheese. Now again, the super melty thing, so I'm putting a piece of regular cheese on top. This piece, rip it up and you're good to go. So what you need to do is you need to be able to anticipate that these things are going to have to get rolled over as they cooked to get them on all four sides and then roll them back. So you put them along here, but you'd stop enough space that you'd have it here and here. That way, as you're rolling them over, you get us to that point on the far end, and then you're rolling back and you're cooked. So then you can just kind of put them all down in a sequence, roll them back, and you're in business. Now these things cook relatively fast. So, fast. So when they come up, you see that side's all sealed in. Pop it down. Then what you do is you just roll it one side each way. That changes how which side gets it. But unlike regular French toast that gets only one side and you flip it and you're done, this stuff needs all four sides because you dipped it and it's pretty thick and it'll soak up egg, and you don't want to send people home with salmonella. Well, maybe you do, but it's your choice. So you do them on all your sides. These two have already got two sides. That one's one, that one's one. So what you do is you flip them, flip them, flip them. I've got asbestos fingers, so you should probably use something else. Flip it, flip it. Now it's all rolled down here. And if you want to kind of reset it, you got room again. It's great. Take them and plop them on the plate, nice and crispy. You want to see how tasty it is inside. Ta-da! Look at all that stuff. Nice cheesy bits. Yummy.